What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down JAMARR Chase's route running ability. We're going to talk about how he's able to get some separation on most of these routes. We're going to talk about how to attack zone coverage. We're going to talk about how to attack a DB's blind spot, and then how to be physical off the line of scrimmage and get off of press, okay? And guys, also, if you want to set up a one-on-one Zoom call with me for a full hour where we could break down film together, we could go over reading coverages, honestly, whatever you would like, you could show me your film, and we could go through it step by step together. Check out that link in the description that says one-on-one Zoom call. Hope to get you guys signed up on that soon so I can help you out with that. Let's get started. So first thing here, let's watch this clip full speed. He's going to be working this stutter go, and then we'll break it down. So you see how he's here? He attacks that DB's weak hip, breaks down, accelerates up, doesn't look back too early, then is able to get some separation. Now, main thing here, when this DB's bailing like this, right, eyes to the inside, probably zone coverage, trying to stay over the top of us. He's got a weak hip, and what I mean by his weak hip is this hip right here. This is his weak hip, and then we want to talk about his blind spot. So when I want to get into this blind spot here, because that's a spot where like kind of like when you're driving, right, looking over that, you got to look over your shoulder to see that blind spot. You can't always see that in your rear view mirror. That's essentially what this is like, okay? So this blind spot right here is where we want to attack. So you want to attack this blind spot and attack this weak hip, because when he drops here, he's going off of feel, right? So if I drop my hips, I get fast hands, fast feet. That's going to make him feel like I'm either breaking this thing down, running maybe a comeback, curl, dig, stop route, whatever it is. So we want to make sure I'm fast. You see how he's not starting to slow down, because I don't want this DB to slow down. I want him to overreact to my cut when I break down. So you see how he breaks down here. Fast hands, fast feet. He's here, fast hands, fast feet, and he drops his hips. The most important thing is him dropping these hips, right? This is the only situation where I really like you beating the drum when you got a stutter go, because if you go fast hands, fast feet here, drop your hips, that's more of an indicator of this DB to overreact, right? And we see how he stops his feet, he drops his hips, but now Chase is standing up and he's running. He's pumping those arms and driving out. Now, when we're in this position, right, we got him to stop his feet. Now I'm running full speed. I can't look back right away, because if I start to look back right away, this DB's in oh shit mode. He's turning around, he's running, he's pumping those arms, he's trying to get back over the top. So I got to make sure that I keep my head down, I pump my arms, and I continue to get space. So I'm here, snap down, I break up, and you see how he keeps his eyes down until he knows he's got him by about 2 steps. Now he's looking back for this ball. He was able to get to the outside. He was able to get some separation, and now this DB is playing catch-up the entire time, right? He probably should have turned and ran the second he felt him go here. But let's talk about this as well. So let's say you got to run a comeback out of this, right? You don't want to just come straight up and run this comeback and then just have this DB be all over it and not get any separation. Let's say I'm here, I break down maybe a little bit quicker than this, right? Maybe a little bit quicker. You break down, then you push up vertical, and you get this DB to turn his hips and run, then I just snap it off and run a comeback, right? That's how it varies. That's how the variation of it. When you run a stutter, burst up, then snap this thing off on a comeback. Get him to turn his hips, and then you snap it off and run. But now in this case, obviously, that's just something that you can use. That's something that you could have in your arsenal, right? But right now, we're just running the straight up stutter go, obviously. So we got to focus on keeping my head down for at least 3 steps. Now I'm looking, I'm still pumping those arms. Quarterback gives me a good ball and just leave this DB. Probably should have turned a little bit earlier and ran, keeping his eyes on that ball, and we just sneak right past him. But dropping your hips is an indicator to him to try to cheat this route, try to jump this route, or just get his feet stop moving. Let's watch this thing full speed right here. So he breaks up, stutters, get him to jump down, then accelerate out. Keep that head down, drive out for at least 3 steps. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the same thing, attacking a blind spot and running a dig. So this is a great example here of him running this dig route. He's going to be from the number 2 right here, so I'll highlight him. He's going to be here. We're going to be looking at JAMARR Chase here. So now, again, same idea. DB's turn facing the quarterback. He's going to be running, right? So where's his blind spot? His blind spot's over here to his right hip. His right hip's his weak hip, and then over behind his right shoulder is where his blind spot is. So that's where I want to go. So you see Chase on this one, he doesn't just go straight in the blind spot like on the last one and attack that hip. He kind of starts his stem to the inside, right? He starts off to the inside, then he's going to take this power jab right here. He takes this power jab to get into this blind spot here. Now he's in the blind spot. Now this DB's fully turned. Now when he's turned like this, it's very hard for him to drive on any kind of route, right? Now, when he gets into his blind spot, he makes this break here. This DB has really no clue where he's at, to be honest with you. He's going off of feel. I mean, I wouldn't say no clue, because obviously he knows where he's at, but he's going off of feel, right? So I break down here, very similar to that stutter go. If you're in this situation, you maybe can break down and then go. Then you do that one time, and now you get in this blind spot. Now I break down and run a dig. It's all connected when it comes to that stutter. We got to make everything look the exact same. So now he comes into this route. He breaks down in this blind spot. He drops those hips quick. He snaps down the inside leg, 2, 3, 4 out of this break in 4 steps. But now, when I'm in that blind spot here, especially in zone, it's very important, or it's kind of a different coverage. It's hard to tell because we can't see the whole field what coverage this is. But when we break this thing off and we're in this blind spot here, I got to make sure that I'm pumping my arms and I got to drive straight out of this break, because if I don't drive out of this break, it's going to be an easy break for him to make on this ball. But that's the thing about this blind spot. You got to get there, you got to make a move, and then you got to go, because we already have the advantage because he's going off a field, right? He can't see exactly where we're going. So if I can pump my arms and I can drive out of here and continue to accelerate off this break, he's always going to be trailing me. That's a great job by Chase here, getting across this field and then making this catch, getting some separation from this DB. That's great work right there. Let's watch it full speed again one more time here. So great job getting in this blind spot. We're going to pressure jab, get to that blind spot, snap it off, then accelerate out. I cannot stress that enough when we get into a DB's blind spot. So he's going to be here at the right of your screen. So we're going to talk about how, let's watch it full speed, then we'll break it down. So you see how he's here, he gets jammed, and he's got a plan. He does not panic. That's what I got to stress here the most about man coverage and when they get hands on you. Because a lot of people think that, they ask me all the time, how can I get this DB to get hands off of me, right? How can I get him to stop jamming me? He's physical. What do I do? Just don't panic. Just relax. It's not the end of the world if he gets hands on you. And this is a great example of that here by Chase. So you see this DB does a pretty good job standing his ground. He jams him. He tries to choke him off the line, but Chase does not lean back. He's always got this great posture going forward here. So he's got a good posture going forward, and he's able to initiate the contact, right? He jams with 2 hands. Okay, I got a plan for that. Let's be physical right back to him. Let's get those hands off. I swat with the outside hand. He knows that if he could get him on the defensive a little bit, on his heels, and he could get that initial 2-handed drive out of there that you could study about a DB on film. Okay, he likes to play off a little bit, then come up and jam me with 2. He likes to get right up in my face, try to jam me with 2. Whatever it is, he likes being physical. But I know if I want to take an outside release, I just got to beat this outside arm. So he's here, you swat, chop that outside arm, and now we got the release that I needed to without losing any timing for the quarterback. Believe me, quarterback back here, Burrow especially, any quarterback, they know that it's man coverage, and you got to give a little bit of time to get off the line, I should say, right? You got to he's got to buy a little bit of time back there to let you go. But why not just try to keep this thing same timing, right? This quarterback ain't gonna hold the ball forever. He'll wait for it for maybe a split second, right? And waiting for you is not the right word to use, because quarterback's not gonna wait. He's just gonna hold this ball a hair of a second longer to try to let you create space, then put this thing in the spot he needs to and give it time. But if I'm off here and I got a plan with my hands, and I'm not afraid of contact, because a lot of people who come off the line are afraid of contact. They'll come up here, they'll pick their chest up, and they're so afraid to engage with the DB. They're so scared to get hands on him because they think that's over with, but they just don't have a plan. They're just not prepared. If you could have a plan with your hands, initiate the contact, then get those hands off and know that you just got to swat and beat that outside arm to be able to get some space. That's a great job here by Chase. Now, same thing. When he's coming over the top, what do I want? We've talked about this before. I want late hands over the top, because right here, he shows his hands too early. If he starts putting his hands up right here, trying to catch this thing like he's catching something over the middle, shows him way too early, this DB's going to be able to make a play on those hands, just rip right through those hands. But I want to try to be as late as possible to give that DB little time to react as possible. See, he didn't even know when to stick his hands up because of how late Chase was with his hands. The very last second, you want to be late with those hands so this DB doesn't have time to react. And it's just a perfect throw by Burrow. That's a great ball. Let's watch it again full speed. Do not be afraid of contact. Initiate contact. Know which arm you got to beat. So he comes off here, initiates the contact. Always got to have a plan for your hands. Always got to be going forward with my pad level and get off that press. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, please leave in the comments any questions you guys have. I'll get back to you as soon as possible, and I'll see you guys next time.